it's time to do something about this, and if I can be quite honest, I'm nervous. I haven't driven it in 18 months, maybe 2 years, and I hope the clutch isn't stuck and the fuel's not bad and all this sort of stuff. There's some bits and pieces underneath that I need to fish out. Take the cover out, give it a wash off, and maybe wash the car, see if we can start it. I'm not anticipating any problem starting. I'm just worried the clutch might be stuck. And there's a lot of work this needs in order for it to be in new condition. And it's certainly not at that stage the way he said here. Oh, dirty. Really dirty. It needs a full body resto, I reckon now. Still looks good though. It's just filthy. Is that still open? No. Maybe we'll wheel him out. I want to turn it around anyway because I don't like the way it's sitting, and it's too difficult to get in the driver's side. So I've got the tacho that Harvey did. Oh dear. Good then. Not too bad. It's close up that it's so horrendous. It's got a dent there. I think I did that dent. I dropped something on it. See that one there? But you can see the quality of the paint, particularly as you get up there. It's bubbly. I don't know if you can see that. That's how dirty it was. I'm just giving it a little bit of a wipe down with the chamois. If you remember, we pulled the engine. David pulled it out, and we did a cosmetic on it, and it looks lovely. The ceramic coated exhaust manifold and heat shield and everything is all new. That looks lovely. I do get worried about the fuels we use, making fuel lines really hard and horrible. I put a new jet assembly on this. So I'm going to give that a wipe out, make it look a bit more presentable. This is the part now. What I've got to do with this car's good because the engine was fine in it. We'll check it again in a minute, but it should be absolutely cool. And not seized. Well, I can't even check there, but it doesn't matter. Mechanically, it's beautiful. The interior is a new leather one. Absolutely gorgeous. The interior, the carpets are the proper Mark 1 type. It's not got anything drilled. I took the radio out and put a blank in. I've got to put Harvey's tack in. You can see over there. It's a proper motor leader wheel. The problem with this car, and it's got lovely wires and Conti tyre and all that sort of stuff, is all this is blistered. All that rear quarter is shagged, and down on the sill there's a huge crack. Now none of this is even magnetic. You can see the shut line there is a bit closed up, but it's all magnetic along from there on forward. Now I've never had the front guards off this car. I've lost focus, just a minute. I've never had the front guards off this car, but really I did a lot of bits and pieces to the car, but I actually bought a rear quarter for it, a cut, which would go on underneath that sort of swage line. And that is up there on the wall. And I've only got one side. I've got to get the other side. It's like a half cut type thing. So I'll do the same on the other side as well. And if I can get away with the sills, I won't touch them, but I might have to do the sills as well. Although that shut line looks all right. The other side's far worse than this side. I lost the registration label, this whole COVID business. I've actually lost it for the Sigma and the XW, but this one has it's on, so I think we'll start and go for a drive. I'm a little bit nervous about the clutch. I've just got to check the clutch out, but everything else seems pretty good. I was going to put that tack in, so I'm going to finish up wiring here. We've got to go and watch the Cup now. It's Melbourne Cup day, so I'm going to go watch that. We'll come out, we'll clean that up, and we'll try and start him up. So this is a 1964 Mark 1 pull-out door handle, non-overdrive car. It's my second MGB. The first one I had was I had from my brother's one that I bought from him. That was a 70 Mark 2 jet red car. This was originally Monza red, so it was kind of an orangey red. It's really dirty. And that other one we had was knackered, the body was stuffed and the floors were gone. We ended up using, what was it, aluminium tape and fiberglass to make a floor out of it, fiberglass sheeting, and driving that around. And it had a fuming engine and it was a bit warm. This is a far better car, but it's a low spec one. So it's the pull-out door handle, which is reasonably unusual, but it's not an overdrive car. And I wouldn't change it, because if I want to go down the freeway, I've got about 7 other cars to choose from. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just doing a really half-assed clean at the moment. Or wipe over. I want to stick that thing in, the tacho. So I bought this 15 years ago in 2005 from the Hilly factory. It was $12,000, which was cheap. The reason it was $12,000 is because it needed some body work doing to it. I didn't do the body work. I've done pretty much everything else on it, although I didn't rebuild the engine, didn't need it. But things like, I've given the interior resto, it had vinyl, which is what they came from. This would have been a CKD car, completely knocked down. So it would have come in crates from England. It's got English plates and everything on it, but and it would have been assembled in Zetland, I think. That's where they did them. So in 2008, I bought seat diaphragms, this new oil cooler. I'm a member of the Wolseley Car Club, so this rocker cover is off of 1560 Wolseley, which is why I've got Bunnings dollar fittings on there for the PC, well not the PC, the crankcase ventilation. And it's got a Wolseley 1560 core mount, because originally this was down there and break an engine mount, you go through the coil. Not really, but you know what I mean. And so I just sort of did it up. It's got a O series head, whoops, which is, or the O head they call it, which is Mark II Austin 1800. Apparently they breathe better than a B head. This car goes very, very well for what it is. It's not, it's not going to break your neck or anything with G-force, but it's a very pleasant little car, very nice little car to drive, although the gear stick is, the gearboxes, a lot of refining happened with manual gearboxes from, the time they built this to now. But it's a lovely little thing. I think first off, and I also, in 2008, I pulled all the heater box out. This is a non-heater car, so that heater over there would be out of a Farina car. So I think that's where it's from. It's not the original MG Smith's one, which was sort of, not banjo shaped, what do you call it, like guitar shaped, if you know, with flat sides. And bought the little Tudor washer bottle and, all this other stuff. So I've done bits and pieces to it, but I've never actually taken the guards off or anything like that. So all that work's coming at some point. I don't want to do it now because I've just got too much other stuff. So it's, it's very, very clean in this sort of regard, but eventually it's going to have to all be pulled apart and rebuilt, parts of it anyway. And I've got no bones of doing that. I don't want to do it yet. While the cars are registered and they're running, I sort of tend not to try and pull them apart and reduce them to something that doesn't go. But that's looking a little bit better. I'm pissed off that it's so dusty and horrible. I think I might actually wipe the coolant. We'll fill that up a bit. Oil. See, I've plated all this stuff. That's my usual trick with old bombs. I plate everything to make them look like good bombs. Hang on a sec. I had an oil change, oil and filter change. The oil's spotless. It's got an electronic ignition, which was the reason that I've made the tacho not work and Harvey put modern internals in it or did something to it. That's about it, really, in a nutshell. I'm just connecting a battery. I can't remember what some of those wires do. I just want to run around with a Tesla. Hang on a minute, I'm caught. There we go. And so I'm kind of just having a bit of a look. I might put the positive one on first. Is that positive? I put a cutout switch there. one of those ones. You've got to tie this up. It did have two new 6 volts in it when I bought it, but they've they sort of bug it up. So I just bought this single one from Alex, which I've had for years. I think I bought it. I think it's 10 years old now, but I keep it out of the car and I keep it trickle charged. And I was using that on the 750. I use it for everything I need 12 volts for, basically. I've got the battery connected. I've just been sort of looking around here. I just wanted to. I might start it first. I'll just see if it picks up. And I'll just turn the switch on. Okay. That's ignition. That must be illumination. Hang on, miss. Now let's just check for fuel. Hang on, Rosie. I'm just starting the bee. I'm not ready yet, miss. I've got to get the buggy going first. I just want to see if it. Let me put this tack over here. What I'm nervous about is the clutch more than anything else. Hang on, get that back here. See if she starts. There we go. That has been running in. Oh, actually, let's try something. Oh, you're kidding. That is unbelievable. That's why I love a B series. That's cold, and I swear I didn't try and start it just before I turned the camera on. I mean, that is just as good as it gets. Who would have thought? And I would have sworn that, look at that, there's cobwebs all over the place. I would have sworn that the cartridge is dry too. Everything's cool. Alright, so now we have to figure out this tacho business. So that is unbelievable. Right, so we'll figure out, I think that's power there. And that's the pickup. It's like a little coil thing that the other one picked up before it was modified. And then I think I have to run another earth. I'm going to give Harvey a call. Oh, I've got to take the bezel off and take that piece of foam out. But I'm going to give him a quick ring now. That's fairly self-explanatory, but I just want to square it with him first. Try and fit my legs between the tripods so I don't knock it. Right, so I found a ridiculously large piece of wire with the right terminals already on it, so I just sort of stuck it in. There's a bolt behind there for the steering column, and if I, nope, continuity, that works. If I turn the ignition on, I should have voltage between that one and this white one. Let me just chuck that under there. 12 volts, yep, cool. Alright, and that one's the trigger. And I checked continuity between that and the wire out in there in the engine bay. The reason I'm a bit dubious is because he did say something about the loop. He made a point of saying, make sure you keep a little U-shaped thing that went on it. But this is positive 12, which we've got, earth we've got, and coil negative. And coil negative is where that loop is. So I'm wondering if I should cut that. I'll keep those components, but I'm not sure. They both go in the loom, so I'm not sure where the other one goes. I'm assuming it just goes to Earth somewhere, but I'll need to find the one, or the side of it, that goes to the coil. I'm not sure which one that is. I'm just going to cut it up here. Well, I think I know what to do. Make sure that's off. Yep. That's the ignition light, which is that bottom one. That's the instrumentation light. And we've got to put the trigger, coil negative, goes there. And that ridiculous fat earth I've got goes up here, which I might have to do from under the dash because I don't know if it's long enough. I remember this was a pain in the ass to get in and out these things. It's probably easy without the speedo there. I'm not sure, or maybe one of them's easier to get out with the other without the other one there. I need my other glasses. Hang on a minute. Right, that should work. That should work. So if I pop him back in, let's see if she works. Let's see if we can turn the power on first. Oh, haven't connected it to the engine yet. That was really clever. Hang on a minute. Perfect. Wonderful. First time I've had a tach since I've had an electronic ignition. These stupid little nuts on, and I'm taking these, whoops, can you see it? Little nuts off. And I've just snatched it from this Austin Free, it's Morris Oxford dash on the roof. It's been there for yonks, and I got the car from the Wolseley Car Club, and it had a beautiful little 1620 in it, which I left in there, or which I took out and sold. Same as an Austin Freeway dash, but the good thing is, that makes this job far easier. The great thing about this is Harvey's tacho's working. I haven't had a tack in ages. So thank you, Harvey. Thanks very much. I'm still on choke. I can't believe how well it runs after, it's been 2 years, I think, since I've driven it, 18 months at least. It's like I drove it yesterday. Hoping I wouldn't have to go back to first. It's only got a hasn't got a first year sick rate, so you got to either be fully stopped before you can go back to first. Gorgeous. I'll get the touch of that. It's got great torque though. I'm stoked with this little thing. I thought there'd be all sorts of problems starting it and, you know, leaks and all that sort of stuff, and it wasn't. I'm going to swap over this top hose. It's a bit puffy. It was puffy before when we first got back. And it's still sort of dirty down there. Look at those fittings. Look at that tap fitting. Absolutely beautiful. That was the same paint I used on the Plymouth engine as well. And that cheap chrome looks a bit pitted, but oh no, it'll come back. That's all good. I'm wrapped. Wrapped. Just got to do body work. And I'm not really looking forward to that. Because it means blowing the car apart. And I'm happy with it the way it is, to be frank, but it does need to get done. Anyway, I didn't wipe that off, the generator. Gone out of my way to keep it original with like a generator and keep it looking old. Even though it's sort of been freshened up. But I haven't checked these either. But no, the ceramic coating on the exhaust still looks good. That's all good. But geez, it runs so well. I was amazed. But anyway, that'll be about it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that. Take good care of yourselves, enjoy your classic, and I'll see you soon. What do you reckon? Shit.